always, just to make sure. And we are live.
Great.
Yes. Yay. Welcome in, everybody. It is top of the hour. Well, we're getting to top of the hour. For Mark and I, we've got like a minute delay. So we always start a
Yes.
minute early and kind of catch up with the live stream.
I don't
But
even know if it's a minute, but we never watch ourselves because if you've ever done this, you know that there's that annoying lag and you see your lips and everything out of sync. So
yeah,
good to check and make sure that it's showing up, but at the same time, not to get confused or that stuff drives me crazy. Yeah.
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 I do watch my phone. Yeah. Okay, we're on. So good. Yay. So we'll get
Yay.
started. We're going to get started. Now we are expecting a guest, but maybe they'll be late. Maybe they'll be rescheduling. I don't know, but we're here to talk about a topic. So we're going to.
It won't stop us.
No, of course
We're
not.
here. We're here. We're live, and and we really hope our guest comes. And if not, we'll be certain to get them on a future thing. So if you've picked up on any of the invitations or whatever, our guest is Dave Pennington, and in like Jamie says, hopefully he'll pop in at some point in time. But no worries if he doesn't. Something important may have come across his desk.
Yeah.
So just to introduce the topic, and those of you who maybe are joining us live maybe saw the topic, that the idea behind and our controversial title there, coaches don't need funnels. But what coaches do need is a plan that matches their voice, values, and vision. And that's where a lot of people get mixed up, I think, is they start with a funnel. They think, oh, I'm going to start with a funnel. I'm just going to start, promoting. But that's this idea of somehow chasing something that it's external. And I often talk about this. Jamie knows this. Jamie and I have both been talking about this for years. We talk about this in our MAP workshop too, is the idea that in the past, marketing and promotion was all about pushing ideas and concepts and information out into the world so that people became aware of those ideas and could make decisions based on them. And then the internet changed everything. So now that is an obsolete concept because everyone has more information, much more information than they could possibly need. And therefore they're confused and they're overwhelmed. So the solution now is not external, not pushing yourself on the world, but doing a 180 on that and attracting people into your universe, into your world. And you do that by beginning with your voice and your values and your vision, not with a funnel.
Yeah.
And, Jamie, I see you itching to say you've got some ideas. Yeah.
I am. So I'm thinking to myself, because I'm a coach, so I get, and you are too. And so we get hit with all these messages. I know I'm on Facebook a little more than you are for personal reasons, right? But when I'm on there, I'm getting hit with all these funnels, if you will. And what's coming to me, just kind of as I'm listening to you talk, is that feeling of like, everybody wants to be promising you passive income. And that's that whole thing of like, well, if you just put up a funnel, people will just swipe their credit card right on their laptop or their tablet, and your cash register is just going to ring. And I feel like, I think we've gotten to a place, I know we have for sure, that it's really the relationship that gets built with your prospects, more so than like, oh, I've got the best program and the best, sales page and all of that. People don't buy a sales page. They're buying you. So they have to get to know you. And it harkens to, I was thinking of a lady I met with a couple of weeks ago who said, I just want to make money and have people show up and pay me. And I don't want to meet with people. I don't want to do any kind of sales calls. I just want them to just go to a page and sign up. And I'm thinking, I think you're going to be really and she's kind of new in her business. And I'm thinking, and I tried to explain it to her, but it's like she's going to have to learn on her own. Unfortunately, she's not ready to hear what I would have to say anyway. She'd argue with me. But I think that people just think, I'll just put up a funnel and people will just do it. And it's a lot of work to put up a funnel. And it's not just a plug and play. If you're buying somebody else's funnel, if that's your strategy, is to take somebody else's funnel and put that into your business, it's not going to resonate because as you're talking about, it's not your voice. It's not It's not it's probably not who you are. You're not a
Yeah.
hardcore salesperson. You're
Yeah.
a coach. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. You know, funnels aren't this magic wand or the secret sauce. And the reality is this kind of is exactly, this resonates with me exactly what you said, because most of what we see out there, and of course you and I recognize them in a heartbeat, they're basically copy and pasted from another marketer who sold you on their funnel.
Yeah.
And here's the raw truth is that other marketer had different goals, different ideas, a different energy. They're not you. And no
Yeah.
wonder they don't work, because they're not you. So
Yeah.
so the
And
solution to that is what a coach really needs is a path, and one that reflects who they are, how they lead, how they connect, and how they connect at a level to build relationship to a point where business is done. Natural sales, you might call that. And to your point, Jamie, too, is that, you know, when you tie those concepts together, this copy and pasting is got to realize, like, that person hopefully was not in the coaching field. Maybe they wanted to sell a course. But again, we call it shooting on people. So it's, I don't care what you think. I don't care how you feel. I don't care about your needs, your wants, or values. I just want to tell you the way it is. And I want you to buy my course. But I'm not interested in your opinion. I'm not interested in feedback. I'm not interested in where I might have gone off or where I might not be serving. You know, I just want to make the money. And that's sad to me, like that, because if we think about it in life in general, and these are important thoughts that we need to have, is what do you want? What do you really, really want? Do you want to have so much money that you're sitting on your yacht drinking rum from a coconut and you're all by yourself? Is that the ideal existence? Right? It's to say, my ideal existence is when I can get 100% of people out of my life, so I can live the next 40 years in solitary confinement and die. Is that what your vision is? So I think we need to pause and think about these things. And I know this is being, you know, maybe extraneous or exaggerating, but really when you come down to it, I remember back in pre-internet days, the idea of, and there was kind of a joke that went around that, you know, business would be really good if it wasn't for those damn customers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And yet, and if we have to look at that as a multiplier when we're coaching, because if you're interested in coaching and teaching and really changing lives through your course, through your program, through your coaching skills, then you have to be in love with relationship.
So true. So true. And also, when you think about it, like, your marketing is like the introduction to your coaching. And so if you're hands off in your marketing and just like helping that your funnel is going to work, I think a funnel is really good for things like, you know, an opt-in, a lead magnet, something like that. That kind of a thing is great. But if you think you're going to sell your coaching, you know, your high ticket item, your program, your who you are, you know, you selling you.
Yeah.
Think about, do you want to be seen as kind of, for lack of a better word, kind of pushy, kind of, you know, that kind of pushing yourself on people, as you say, shooting on people.
Yeah.
So just think of your marketing as the first place that people will get to know you as a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, exactly. So that idea that, and we're not shooting down funnels per se in themselves, but where they fit in your ability to build relationship.
Yeah.
So this idea of having the foundation first, that's based on what you are all about, your voice, your values, your vision, is the critical first step, where many people think, oh, I'll just skip that, I'll go straight to the funnel. And the reality is, all we have to do is go to Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. There are hundreds of different funnels. Actually, there are thousands of different funnels, and there are thousands of different frameworks. And if they don't match who you are and your way of working, then you're just going to burn out trying to implement one after another after another. We're talking about throwing enough mud on the wall and hoping it sticks. Well, when there's almost an endless pile of mud, you'll probably burn out. Your arm will fall off before you'll ever get it to stick. So instead, starting with this idea of you and then the client journey that feels like you, that feels like the relationship that you want, and then to attract a person who wants that kind of a relationship. That's very different than trying to take this funnel that somebody else has created and then trying to plug people into it. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of like, to me, it's cart before the horse thinking.
Yeah. And I know back when I started my business in 2009, like the thing then was newsletters, having people opt in, give you their email address, and then you could hit them with your marketing. And nowadays people don't do that. Like we even tell people, I mean, you can have an opt-in on your website, not a horrible thing, but like, don't expect that people are just going to sign up. They're not.
Yeah.
They don't. So, if that's just the way it is. People are hit with so you're talking about funnels, people are hit like me on Facebook. I'm hit constantly. I'm just on there to like see what my friends are up to. And I'm getting hit with a million different ads and funnels and this and that. And they're all the same. They're all, hey, if you're a coach, we can help you to get, a better business, et cetera. We'll get you leads. We'll get you this. We'll get you that. And it just becomes just a cesspool, if you will. Like, I'm not going to opt in for any of that. I might opt in because I'm like, oh, they got me with a little hook. Maybe we can kind of, swipe a little bit of that. But honestly, it doesn't feel good. And I don't put my email address into something to get hit with all kinds of messages either. So funnel is just that. You're basically asking somebody to jump on your mailing list and get spammed. So
So the idea of sign up, register for my newsletter, sign up for my newsletter. Well, it's like, we often talk about coaches who haven't looked at, who don't understand the concept of designing and building a business on a proper business foundation, but the idea of selling coaching by the hour. Who wants to buy an hour?
Right.
Who wants to sign up for a newsletter? No, I want something specific. Now, I might sign up if you say, hey, I've got a solution to this problem. Put your name and email in here and I'll send it to you. Well, that's a lot different than saying, hey, just sign up so that you can be spammed.
Yeah.
So that you can read my junk and I hope that you fall in love with me by all the content that I'm pumping out, and that you pick up the phone and call me and say, oh, I love the junk that you're putting out. Would you please hire me? Right?
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. When you do a funnel, when you do like a, kind of a landing page, if you will, first of all, it's a lot of work, like I said, but then it's a lot of work on the back end too. So, you build the funnel, then you've got to build out all the emails that go with that funnel. It's really, trust us, we've been down the road. We've been around the block.
It reminds me of when in 2005, when I really embraced the internet and I moved my practice totally online in 2005. And I went to a course, a 3-day weekend kind of thing. I flew to Atlanta and went to this course, and then built the funnel and everything else. And I had this funnel cranking out there, and the person who was teaching it was excited. I was chatting with them. Oh, look at all the subscribers I'm getting, everything else that was going on, like thousands of people rolling in and opting in for my funnel. What I didn't realize, and of course this is back in those days, is there weren't firewalls, there weren't protections these were bots that were just loading up my funnel with thousands of email addresses that probably were false. And here I was getting excited, but not only that, but then I was promoting to this huge list that really didn't exist.
Unbelievable. Wow.
All because what I was taught back then was, oh yeah, you got to build the list, you got to get the funnel going, and then you hammer people, and eventually they'll buy. It didn't work. So from direct experience, and there was, I put a lot of money into that. There was a lot of effort in terms of promoting that, advertising it, getting that list built. And then there was a back end. There was back in those days, it still exists to these days. When we think about hacking, back then it was very easy to hack a funnel and take it over and put a bot in place and just start slamming it. I don't know what the end benefit was to the people that were doing it, but the point being, back to what Jamie was saying, is these things are complex and they take management and they take monitoring. And is that what you want to do? Do you want to spend most of your day fixing your broken funnel or trying to figure out what is not working? Or do you want to spend most of your day coaching and working with people and serving and helping people?
Yeah, such a good question. I love how you shared that little anecdote about like living, being isolation, living on your own island with your yacht and all of that, and just kind of hoping that the internet will do all the kind of work for you and the coaching. And I built. That's the other thing too. We could talk about, not to go down another slippery path here, but people building programs. Let's put funnels aside for the moment. A lot of people, I'm say everybody, a lot of people come to me and go, I've spent 2 years building my course, my program. I've got it all perfect in my little portal, and now I'm just ready to go sell that, and I need your help to do that. And I'm like, well, how do you know anybody even wants it? Like there's that. There's
Yeah.
that. So it's kind of the same conversation, if you will. It's like,
Yeah.
will come.
Yeah. Now I'm going to take that and plug that into a funnel.
Yeah.
And a lot of people make that mistake. So they say, oh, I've got this course. And I love the word you used, was perfect. I've worked on it for 2 years. I've done 25 different iterations of it. And my question is always, okay, on each iteration, how many people did you take through the course?
Yeah.
None. Oh, so you were the one iterating. So you were taking yourself through it. You realized that you were living in fantasy land, that you were just in your own mind iterating and there's no need to even make one iteration until you've actually tried to explain it to somebody, and better still, try and take somebody through it. Only then have you got the right to make a second iteration. So anyhow, back to your point though, Jamie, iterate. I've been working on this. I've been pounding away. Oh, I've got courses at the Yin Yang. I've changed my language. I've done this. I've used Chat GPT. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Now teach me how to sell it. Oh, okay. We'll teach you how to sell it. Give me $5,000 a month and we'll begin with a $2,500 ad spend, and we'll pump the crap out of this. We'll get it out there into the marketplace. We'll get people buying your course. And next thing you know, you've spent another year and perhaps thousands of dollars trying to push your course on the world. And then you end up broke, and you're one of many out there, sadly, that say, this doesn't work. Coaching doesn't work. The internet doesn't work. Facebook ads don't work. These people are full of crap. I'm going to go get a job.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad. And a lot of times people are creating not just one course or program. They might have 5 different options, and they've created all these options. And that's the other thing. A confused mind never buys. So if you're coming to people and go, well, I have this course and it's this price, and this is really affordable. And then I've got this kind of mid-range course, and then I've got this other course, and it's, they want the transformation. They're not going to buy the low-level transformation. They want the high-level transformation, but they might buy that middle of the road transformation, but it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve them. So hold back. My advice would be hold back and have one offer. You have one core offer, one way that you get people transformation. So having too many choices, too many price options, people are always going to go with the cheapest or the middle ground. They're not going to get the transformation they really need. Yeah. And you're not going to be able to serve them at the highest level that they deserve to be served at, and that you deserve to feel like you're making a difference in people's worlds. I just want to say that
beautifully put. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't think you and I have ever signed up a client without meeting them. I do not believe that's ever happened in the time that we've been in business together, which is since 2017, and since I've been in business, 2009. Have to meet with people. You have to know that your solution will bring them what they want, and you can't do that if you're not aligned. Yeah. And so thinking that a funnel is going to magically align you to have somebody go, here's my debit card. I don't know you. I've never met you, but your promise sounds really good. You might not like them. They may not like you. You might be just passing in the night and really don't even like each other. Yeah. Mark and I would never sign up a client that we don't have an affinity towards at some level. Yeah. So you really do. I mean, I'm not suggesting that you should spend all day on the phone meeting with people. We don't do that either. That's not something that we do. But we don't sign up clients unless we actually have some kind of relationship. They might have been in our workshop. We might have gotten to know each other through the 5 days of doing that workshop together. Or we've met because something in our messaging resonated, our marketing. And now it's time to find out, do we have a match? Are we aligned? Yeah. And if you are and you like each other, then you move forward. A funnel is not going to have that be the case. You might end up with some real jerk Anyway,
Yeah.
they go, well, I paid you a lot of money for this thing that I bought online that you promised me this and that. And I don't ever talk to you and I'm lost. I can tell you from our own experience, if you're not kind of helping people along personally, like having some accountability built in, people will buy your thing and never even touch it. And that's sad.
Yeah.
That's
It is sad. And it's sad that people think that that's okay. It's
yeah,
sad that people think, well, that's great. As long as I sell enough of those things. But
yeah.
that's not
Who you
healthy.
want to be? Is that who
Yeah.
you want to be? Yeah.
Yeah. So this idea of coaching is all about basically building relationship and knowing, as you put, Jamie, that there's a win-win going on. So all of a sudden, it takes all the pressure off this concept of selling that everybody gets afraid of. Is selling is looking for a common goal and saying, you need this, you want this, you desperately want this. And you know what? I know how to get that, help you get that. So let's work together and get you what you want, as opposed to let me push my course on you. Very different feeling.
Yes.
So it kind of comes back to this idea of build your foundation first and then figure out the tools. And the other thing that I want to bring up too is one of the things that Jamie and I use is we came across years ago Seth Godin's concept of minimum viable audience, and we teach that all the time. So a lot of people think I want to reach the whole world, and then hopefully if I shake that tree, a few will fall out and pay me. But instead, what if you just look small? And this is where, again, sometimes the funnel, I know many coaches that don't really need a funnel because they have a very select group of people that they work with. They offer high transformation, in other words, a high value offer. So they only work with a handful of coaches or clients at a time. And therefore, they don't need this huge complex funnel. If all they need every month is to go, you know what, 5 clients. I want to work with 5 clients at a high level. And that's what floats my boat. That's what makes me happy. That's where I find joy. That's where I'm most on my game. I want to work with 5 people. All of a sudden, 5 people a month, you don't need a complex funnel to attract 5 people a month into your universe. There's another book that we recommend too, which is called Experts Never Chase. You find it on Amazon. It's a beautiful book because it leads to this concept of coaching, which is it's not about mass marketing. Right. It's about the more you fine tune your business, the more you figure out what it is that you're uniquely here to do, to serve, the offer that you have that's so powerful that minimum viable audience is searching for you for that solution, and being able to build those relationships so that they see that, they understand that, and that they want you to guide them on that journey. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You're speaking my language, singing my song. Yeah. And that's what we believe in. Yeah.
I want to share one other thought. This came to mind this morning just before we jumped on the call, and I actually looked up the article again because it often resonates in my mind. And it was something written by Scott Olford a while ago. And Scott talked about the levels of energy or levels of consciousness, if you will, of business people, but also of purchasers of products and services, if you will, of people who are seeking coaching. And if we look at it from a business standpoint, the person that's out there, this is where you might find some alignment or misalignment. When you're a coach, where are you coming from in your business? And he says, level 1 is primal. And this centers around survival. So the idea that you chase one new trend and fad after another, hoping you find something that alleviates the pain that you feel. What's the pain that you feel? I want to feel heard. I want to create a business. I want to be an effective coach, but I don't know how, and I'm struggling. So we're in this primal state of survival. And I talk about in Maslow's hierarchy of needs is we're down in those lower level needs. We come at from creating a job for ourselves. Oh, somebody said I was good at teaching. I lost my job. I'll just create a coaching business instead of making the connection and going, I'm trying to create a job for myself. So this primal level. And and then who do you attract? Are you attracting people at that primal level, that first level, that survival level? The second level is reactive. So at this level of consciousness, you're starting to appreciate your pain. You're starting to understand it a bit, and you're starting to understand the problems, but you're just kind of stepping into that. So it's still a level that you tend to be attracted to shiny objects. You chase one solution after another, but you don't commit to anything because you're not clear on what you want. You simply feel pain and you want to run away from that pain, and you're hoping someone or something will provide you with the answers. This is where funnels are sold. This is where many people make millions selling funnels. To who? To people who are in a reactive state. We're just buying shiny objects and filling up their hard drive, right? Or their library.
Yeah.
The next level then we get to, Scott talks about, is being willful. And basically, when you look at people who are at those first levels, they're often full of people who feel like victims. They feel like the world's against them. And that can really drag you down if you're marketing to those types of people, right? If you are building a business that is attracting those kinds of people, believe me, Jamie and I've been there, it can really bring your energy down. So instead, this evolving towards this, what Scott calls a willful level of consciousness, is so important. Now here, you're starting to really get an understanding of what your pain and problems are, and you have the motivation and the desire to overcome them. You literally will, that's why he calls it willful, yourself to grow. You're willing to do what it takes. Think about that for a minute. Think about that as a coach. Who do you want to attract? Is that the kind of person you want to attract? Maybe. Wouldn't that be a great client to have? So think about these concepts of who am I actually intentionally trying to attract? And therefore, is the funnel attracting those people or not? The fourth level is intellectual. This is often where coaches come from. Is we're in that state where we want to have a lasting impact. We want to have a lasting impact on our own life and on those that we serve. And we kind of look at it as an evolution, if you will. So here, we not only appreciate our own problems and pain and discovery, but we also understand the solutions. We understand what we need, and we understand what our clients need. And therefore, it's easier to build strategies and processes. It's easier to know what you're looking for. So you think about that too. And then the last level is intuitive. And this is where you're operating totally on intuition. You're not even worried about complex funnels or anything because you're guided by your inner knowing and your intuition. But you think about these ideas for a minute, and many coaches see themselves at that intuitive level or at the intellectual level. But what are they doing? They're attracting a ton of people, are trying to build a business to attract people who are in that primal survival state or that reactive state. See, so the disconnect happens, and then you can see where the frustration, right? Can you understand why that would be so frustrating? If I'm operating at this level where I'm willful and I'm attracting all these people who are just going, show me the money, can you see how there'll be a conflict there? It won't work.
Yeah.
So I really love that concept, and it popped in my mind, when we looked at this topic and we were thinking about this topic for today, and I was thinking about this idea is be careful, understand, take the time to understand where you're coming from, who you want to serve, what level of energy you're bringing to the table, but what level of energy you want to attract to work with.
Not only that, but again, not working in isolation is understanding that what you're offering, whatever that is, whether it's a funnel or just a program or whatever, again, I'm going to say what I said earlier. How do you know anybody even wants it? So like what we focus on with our clients is actually getting confirmation that what you're offering is valid and needed and wanted in the first place.
Yes.
There's no point in going to market with a funnel for something nobody even wants or isn't resonating with them or is very general or generic. Right?
Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap here in a couple of minutes, but I really want to piggyback on that, Jamie, because that idea comes back to the cart before the horse, is that the funnel comes after you've validated what works. And then that funnel could be extremely simple and a lot less costly and a lot less energy draining than you probably think it needs to be. Because now you're working with validated concepts And that's what we work on. That's what we talk about in MAP, for example, is
Mhm.
trying to get that cart behind the horse
Right.
and showing you how to do that with sound business principles. So that
Yeah.
idea of moving your business and creating your coaching, I should say, your coaching practice based on sound business principles. Coaching is a technical skill. It has nothing to do with running a business.
Mm.
You could be the best coach in the world, and you may very well be driving the proverbial taxi cab in New York, trying to put enough money in your pocket to buy food, even though you're the best coach in the world and you have all of those certifications coming out, your back pocket. But if you don't have the business skills and the business built to serve that, to bring that skill to the world, then you're going to struggle. And that's what we talk about in MAP. So we'd love to invite you to join us. It's no obligation, no hassle, no sales pitch program that we run. It's free. We run it about once every month, every 6 weeks. The next one happens to be coming up on August the 18th, which is next Monday. You'll see scrolling in the bar there. And after we finish this live, we'll be sure to put this in the chat as well. In the comment section, so you can click on that link. You can learn more about MAP. Go ahead and sign up for it, register for it. Come, like Jamie and I say, Jamie always says this, she's got a great saying, come play in the sandbox with us, because that's what this is about, is getting back to that state of being childlike and starting to play with these concepts and think about, what is my creation going to be? And that's one of many things we'll talk about in MAP.
And ironically, that puts you in our funnel. I have to acknowledge that we're sending you to a funnel with that, but I mean, it's just to register for our workshop.
Yeah.
But I wanted to acknowledge that.
And it's a funnel that we validated. It's a funnel that our clients, our service, our results helped us create.
That's right.
So again, the cart behind the horse.
Once you have a proven methodology, or all of if you have proven audience, offer, all of that, then build a funnel.
Yeah. Once you know what you want, once you know what that business is going to look like and how it's going to serve you, then once you take that to the next level, which is how you're going to serve others, then you validate that. Then you are in a position to build a funnel, and you've earned the right to build that funnel. So we would encourage you to take those steps. Come and join us in MAP, and you'll learn more about this, and come play in the sandbox with us and explore some ideas.
Yeah. One thing I just want to acknowledge, Keith put a comment. He said, love this, but you mix the client with the coach going into level 4 and 5. I guess, Mark, you might want to refer back to your notes. I don't know. But I just wanted to read that off. Thank you, Keith, for your comment. And
yes. So just to clarify that very briefly, if Keith is still there. So the idea, if we look at these levels, which is the primal, the reactive, the willful, the intellectual, the intuitive, where are you as a coach? Where do you fit? My suggestion is many coaches are often striving or want to be or transitioning into or transforming into that level 4 and 5, the intellectual or the intuitive space. And then the question is, where are your clients? Who do you want to attract? And what Scott talks about is, generally speaking, it's pretty easy to attract somebody that's one level below where you're at. But if you go beyond one level, then that's where conflict starts to come. Because obviously that's kind of like what we do as coaches, right? We want to throw out that lifeline. We want to throw out the buoy, the ring, the life ring. And we want to say, hey, I've been there, or I can help you get to where you want to be. I want to bring you along. I want to help you. I want to guide you. I want to be your teacher, your coach, your mentor. So looking at both levels, all 5 of those levels of consciousness, where are you at? And then where does your ideal client lie? And then those ideal clients will often be that one level below at your level, and one level below your level is kind of the sweet spot to build a business. We talk about that again in MAP. We'll talk about levels of awareness in MAP. We talk about levels of awareness for your potential client or the clients that you're working with, and how to understand their level of awareness and how to know where to put your attention. And that's where a lot of people get that wrong. They're putting their attention at level 1 or level 5 in terms of level of awareness, and they're missing the mark every time. So we'll share that. But you'll learn about, that's a little teaser for you. You'll learn about levels of awareness, which are different from levels of consciousness in the MAP workshop.
You wrote one more question. I don't know if you want to address it now or in MAP or whatever, but can you describe the level 4 and 5 potential client?
Yeah. So the level 4 client is somebody perhaps like you, that they're looking at having a lasting impact and a lasting impact on their own life. In other words, they're thinking about purpose. They're thinking about, what do I want to leave behind? What's my legacy? How can I improve my family life? How can I improve my personal relationships? And also they could be thinking about that at a professional level too. So the different levels of their life, they also are probably in a position of service, right? They're already in that, whether they own a business, whether they're a manager, whether they're a CEO, or maybe they're an advisor of some sort, like a coach, like a teacher, like a mentor, somebody like that. So that could be somebody that would be at level 4, is they're thinking about these things. They're wanting to evolve, if you will. So versus, I'll contrast that to level 1, primal, needs driven. What's that all about? Show me how to make money. I got to make money. I got to make money. I got to make more money. Right? It often focuses on that because they perceive money as being the way to get their needs met. Of course, we all know that that's not true, but that's the reality. So that's that intellectual level. The intuitive level are people who are, they don't, and this can be difficult. And I don't want to get too far off here. We're almost out of time, and we talk about this a bit in MAP, but we relate it to other levels as well, like levels of awareness and such, is that people at the intuitive level have often transcended that idea of money. They've transcended, many cases, they've transcended the idea of goals altogether. So they can be difficult sometimes unless they've specifically identified something that they are drawn to intuitively to accomplish. They can be really hard to get into your universe. So that's a difficult. Hope that helps, Keith. And I would encourage you to read more. Just Google the name of the article that Scott wrote. I've got it here on my screen. It's called "The 5 Levels of Consciousness for Entrepreneurs" by Scott Olford. As a matter of fact, if you DM me, I'll send you that article. Save you the effort. Just find me on LinkedIn. Here you should see me, or on Facebook if that's where you're watching, or on YouTube, and just send me a quick message and I'll send you that article. Keith, happy to do that.
Yeah, and so just so you know, I see that there's lots of people watching us right now, which is great, but some of you I think came in late. So when this ends, you can watch the replay. It'll be here for you, and post your questions, post your comments. We check everything. And hopefully those of you who are watching or will be watching, join us for our workshop next week. It's a workshop. It's not a webinar. It's not a sit back and passively watch us talk, kind of like this. I would call this more of a webinar, even though there's no like slides. We're not really teaching. We're just talking about a concept. But this is a hands-on workshop that we do. And so you will be doing work. Roll up your sleeves. Get ready.
Great. And we'll sign off now. We promise typically to keep this to 30 minutes. We're a little over, but I do want to point out one more little technical glitch that I just picked up on. You might have seen on your screen too. For some reason, we lost the stream on Facebook. It only got 16 minutes, it looks like. Okay. So half of that is missing. We'll see if we can get this posted. The full in its entirety. If you're catching this, I don't know. Obviously, if you're on Facebook, you're not catching this because it already timed out on us. But we'll fix that. But if you're here on LinkedIn, glad that you're here. And if you know of anybody on Facebook or somebody you see is complaining about that, then find a way. We'll find a way to get that. Selena, Keith, send me a message, a quick message. Find me on LinkedIn or wherever you're watching from. I think you're on LinkedIn. You are. I can see that right here. Just DM me, and I'm happy to send you that article. You'll love it, and I think you'll get a lot out of it. Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, that was great. All right,
we'll see everyone hopefully on Monday. Come and join us at the MAP. It's a lot of fun. And I won't sugarcoat it. It's also going to make you think. Your brain's going to hurt. We're going to make you do some work. So join us on Monday, and we'll also be back next Wednesday for our next live.
Yeah. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.